It's of course DJ Ash Noble here with a bottle of Coke. Unfortunately, not a cherry Coke. I Cokes nowadays, but this will do the trick. So welcome back to another stream. We are of course we're doing mini ravers. We're doing the aftermath for mini ravers, which it took place today, and I know a lot of you will be thinking like, what the hell's going on? But it was a family rave, so it took place during the day. A lot of people might not have known about this, or they might not have seen that I was doing this, and they might have thought, what the hell's mini ravers? But it was a family rave that took place during the day, and all I'm gonna say is wow. Well, I'm gonna say a lot more than wow, but honestly, what an event this was. This was amazing. So this falls into that category of what I've been talking about throughout these sort of like streams this year and throughout everything we're doing. I have had the privilege to play some really amazing sets and some really amazing things this year. I've had that opportunity of doing, and it's been absolutely amazing to get that opportunity to do that. And this was just one of them that has added to it. This is up there for me again as one of it's going to be a memorable gig from this year. We've got some memorable ones. This is going to be a memorable one. And as far as a family rave goes, a kids rave goes, this now puts it in second place with the rave kids. Now, I've done a couple of family raves this year, from the rave kids to Wild Child to a family rave in Bridlington a couple of times to now doing mini ravers. This has been by far, apart from the rave kids, this has been the best one. So this comes into second place before the rave kids. So this took place in a place called Immingham, which I've never been to before. It's literally like not even really, like, it's just over half an hour away from where I live. I've bypassed it so many times, but I've never been. And it's one of them it's one of them places, sorry, that I've never really had a reason to go. And if I was gonna have a reason to go, it would be for an event. But it's not really a town where I'd really, where you'd really think they're going to put raves on here. They're going to put nightclub nights on here. But they did. They put this mini ravers on. So it took place this afternoon. I've been booked for it for quite a while, and in all honesty, I was excited for it because they'd said it had sold out, but I was still a little bit like unsure what to expect in terms of like what is the event going to be like. What's the place going to be like? What's the venue going to be like? It was at like a sports bar and social club, so they're only like, they're not really nightclubs. They're pubs. Um, you know, um, so yeah, so it was just absolutely, it was just like one of those like, what's it gonna be like? And then I went with the layman. Wasn't originally planned. The original plan was I was gonna go on my bike because the layman was already doing like 2 or 3 different events this weekend already. But he did say, depending how he felt, he would come to this event with me. And then it got to like, I think it got to like 12:15 or something like that. And I spoke to him and I said, "Do you want to come to this event?" And I said, "Look, I want to be there sort of just after 1:30, 1:45 at the latest." And we got there. He came and he decided that he was going to push himself to do this one final event of the weekend. And we got there, and when we got there, our minds were kind of blown, and we really, really did not expect to see what we expected, even though they said it was sold out because of like the type of like venue it is, and because of just like where it was. we was a little bit sort of unsure how this was gonna, you know, how this was gonna be. Was it how it was going to go down? But the place was absolutely rammed. It was full of kids. It was full of families. There was hot dogs on offer. There was the raffle on the go, and this was just absolutely amazing. It was really good. Everybody was so happy. Everybody was just so energetic. And I knew that I had to perform. I knew that I had a job on, and I knew that we had to really get the energy through my set. We had to get them on the dance floor. The layman ended up hosting the set, and when he hosts the set, things just blow up. Things are just magical. What can I say? And I don't think sometimes I could do these sets without the layman, or if I did these sets without the layman, they wouldn't go as well as they do if the layman was on the mic for the set. So he went on the mic, and this event was raising money for epilepsy, which was absolutely amazing. They raised over £1,000, which was, honest to God, like, that is so good. And you could see that, like, just the emotion within the promoters of how well they'd done with the event, and how much the epilepsy means to them, and how much, like, raising this money meant to them, and the amount of effort that they'd put into this event was second to none. From raffles to the food, they'd literally really not just put on a rave, but they'd put on a great afternoon. And there was so, like, the rave was like the main part of it, but there was so much more than just the rave, and there was just a community, and there was just a family of music lovers and people that were wanting to support, that had all kind of come together to support this event, which was just amazing to see. And everybody was just in good spirit, from the woman behind the bar to the families that had brought the kids to the people that were helping, sort of, running the event and organising the event. Everything was just amazing. So we arrived at the venue, and everything was just energetic. There was kids dancing, there was food being served. There was just people all chatting and having a good time. The DJ that was on was in absolute amazing spirit to see me. He was proper buzzed. He shook my hand. He couldn't believe, like, that I was here. Absolutely amazing, and it was really, really good. So we arrived, and we had about 15-20 minutes to spare before we was due to go on set. So we I got a drink and stuff like that, and just kind of got settled, spoke to the promoter a bit, and then we came to, obviously, going on onto the decks, and I was a little bit unsure what to do, really. When it came to going onto the decks, I wasn't really sure what track shall I start with, where shall I take the set, and then I just kind of went with an intro tune, and just kind of went from there, really. And I just played all these different tunes, and some of them went down well, some of them didn't go down too well. Some of them was like where it was just maybe a track that the kids didn't really know, but it was surprising what tracks the kids did know. That was what really blows me away about these kids raves, because you play things like Elysium, and you play things like Forever Young, and then you play things like Pretty Green Eyes, and a lot of these kids weren't even born when these tunes came out, and they know them, and they're singing along to them. And then you play stuff like Living on a Prayer, which is like an 80s track, and they know it, and they're singing along, and they're singing at the top of their voices, and it's amazing. Really good vibe. But then you play some other tracks, like I played a remix of Stereo Love, and they didn't really know it, but then it was a mashup with Summer Jam, and then they sort of knew Summer Jam, but they didn't know it. Like, they knew they'd heard it before, but they wasn't like confident that they'd sing it word for word. But then there was things even like the Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling, and even that song now is, I think that song's over 10 years old. And some of these kids, were quite young. They were like maybe like 7, 8. So that track was even then before they were born. So it was really mad that they'd know these songs. But it was just amazing. The whole set was just absolutely crazy, and we had such an amazing time. And like I said, the layman being on the mic, it just made the set. It just absolutely made the whole entire vibe of the set, because it's just like he knows what to do. It's like he goes on the mic and he just becomes this amazing person that just has the crowd in the palm of his hands all the time. And he had these kids at the palm of his hands, and they had the most amazingest time ever. And we were doing so many fun things on the decks. It wasn't just about, because what you've got to understand is you're entertaining to a crowd of kids. So in some sense, as much as you want to go on there and you want to DJ and you want to play a really really good set in terms of, you want your mixing to be on point, you want to sound really professional. Sometimes it is good to do things that you wouldn't do at a normal gig. If you were playing in a normal nightclub, sometimes at a kids rave you can get away and you can do these daft things where you can cut the music, and then you can tap the cue button and you can make little pattern sounds with the cue button, and you can do like just loads of crazy effects that make the kids go like whoa. So we did this. So I played the famous remix, the Not So Bad, the Dimitri Vegas, Tiesto, and I forget the other guy. And I was playing a track. I was road testing one of my own, and I actually filtered that track down, and then I tapped on the cue button, because in that track it goes like do do, and then it goes like do do do, and I was playing around and I'd queued it up on one of those do's, and I was just tapping the like the do button, and it looked like I was trying to get the deck to work. So Layman on the mic was like, "Oh, I think the decks are broken. We need the most amount of cheering and noise, and it will fix these decks." And it was just this little fun stuff that really made the set just amazing. So it's like, oh, the decks are broke. Like, we need to cheer and chant. We need to make the most amount of noise to fix these decks. And then they'd make the most amount of noise, and then I'd play the track, and then it was like the decks had been fixed. And then there was another time where I'd brought a track in, and then Layman shouted to the crowd and said, "Who wants to see the DJ go onto the dance floor and dance?" And so then I had to take my headphones off. I had to go down to the dance floor and I have to start dancing. And you'd think like, oh, this is, it's embarrassing. Why would you want to do something like that? But it's all part of the fun, and it's all, you're there to do a job and you're there to entertain. And you know what? Like, I just have so much fun, because I think deep down, I'm a big kid myself. So I'm a kid myself. So doing all this stuff is like, for me, it's like I'm a kid myself. And I need to, and I like having fun just probably as much as they do. So it was really good. So I went down to dance, and then the layman, he actually called one of the kids up and said, "We need another DJ. There's no one at the decks. We need another DJ." So we got one of the kids to come up on the stage and put the headphones on. And then it was like this kid was the DJ, and then the dad was like proper buzzing and got a picture of his son behind the decks, and it was like, well, look at my son DJing. Even though he wasn't actually technically DJing, it looked like he was, and he felt like he was, and he got to touch some of the buttons on the equipment, which was really good. He just essentially got to move the jog wheel of the deck, which wasn't playing a track. But he felt like he was doing something, and the layman kind of guided him and said, "Look, don't touch that button, but you can move that jog wheel," and it was really good, you know. Um, so it was amazing. We had such an amazing time. Then we came off the set, and the raffle was announced, and they announced the raffle winner, and then we just literally, yeah. So yeah, is this a news channel? No, it's not a news channel. So basically, I'm a DJ, and I do documents. So I do live streams to basically document my music career. So I do streams and I talk about my experiences at gigs. I do streams to announce where I'm playing next as a DJ, and then I also upload footage and video clips of me at gigs, remixes, tracks I'm working on to the channel. So that's what I do. I sometimes touch up on DJing news, but we're not a news channel. So yeah, so they read the raffle out, and then the final DJ went on. We stuck around for about half an hour into the final DJ set. Just had a little bit of a mingle around, had another drink, and then we just left basically, and then we just we went back, we came back to Hull, got something to eat, and then I got dropped off back at home. And yeah, it was a really enjoyable vibe. So absolutely big respect to Adam and Sophie for having me on board with the event. It was, like I say, it was an amazing event. It was so good to see. Absolutely loved it. Had the most amazingest time ever. So I think they're going to be doing more of these. I think I'm not sure when. I'm presuming it will more than likely be at the same place where they've just done this one. But it was it was really good. So we'll just have to see. They'll be making some announcements in the future as opposed to whether they do some more or not. But it was definitely a success. So I think they should definitely do some more stuff again. Definitely going forward, and they should. It brought like a nice little afternoon to the town. So there we go. So make sure to like, make sure to comment, make sure to share. We'll see you soon.